On this video, I am continuing what I've started, and this is going to be a revised edition of the Inductive Akkadian Grammar based upon the Epilogue of Hammurabi. I've worked my way up to line 5, and just to read up to where we are, and then I'm going to pick up the grammar phrase by phrase. It reads, Dinat misharim shahamarapi sharum leum ukinuma. The laws of justice which Hammurabi, the capable king, established or set up. We've looked at the grammar up to that point. Dinat is a noun feminine plural from denum, related to the Hebrew din. Misharim is a genitive singular noun ending in im in Akkadian. This is indicative of a genitive singular. The is the nominative singular, and im the genitive, and am the accusative singular in Akkadian. U is the nominative plural ending, and e is the genitive and accusative plural ending with a macron over the u or the I. The noun misharim means justice and is related to the cognate Hebrew word meshar, meaning justice or equity. So again, Hammurabi's code begins with the laws of justice. Shah Hammurabi, Shah is the relative pronoun which, and remember in Mishnaic Hebrew, Sheh is the relative pronoun who or which. Asher is the longer form in Hebrew. So Hammurabi is a proper noun following that, referring to the king of this law code. And he calls himself Sharum Leum, meaning the capable king. We pointed out that Sharum is a masculine singular nominative noun meaning king, followed by the adjective Leum, a nominative singular adjective meaning capable or competent. We then come to the verb, which is at the end, ukinuma. Ukinuma is in Akkadian a D preterite subjunctive, third masculine singular from kanu, a middle weak verb, to establish or to set up. In Akkadian, the D conjugation corresponds to the Hebrew PL stem, which shows intensification. So the U suffix indicates a subjunctive which follows from the relative Shah in Akkadian subordinate clauses. So it does not express a probability or a wish as in Greek or Latin, but it is expressing a subjunctive. Let me just take a few minutes as I'm doing this to review basically the conjugations in Akkadian, and I'm going to use the verb parasu, meaning to cut. So first of all, we have a G preterite stem, G meaning your Grundstem or your basic stem, corresponding to the cow stem in Hebrew, the simple stem. And using that parasu, iprus would be the G preterite, he cut. Secondly, we have the D preterite stem, which, as we said, is like the Hebrew PL stem, showing intensification or doing something often. And that reading of that same root would be hu paris. Notice we begin with the U vowel and then the prefix, and we're doubling the middle radical, the R, hu paris, which means he cut, looking at like intensification, maybe like he cut in pieces, something like that. Then, number 3, we have the sheen preterite stem is like the hifil in Hebrew, showing causation. It is the causative stem and will ordinarily contain a sha after the prefix and before the root. So u sha pris would be he caused to write, a sheen preterite, causative stem. Remember in Hebrew, we have the hey and the shafel in Aramaic. So he caused to write. Next, we have the in preterite stem is like the Hebrew nifal stem, including a passive or indicating a passive meaning, like uparis, and it's from in paris, which becomes ipparis, where the noon followed by the P basically it's assimilation occurring. We might say progressive assimilation, except there's no dogish like in Hebrew. You just double that first radical of the root. So in paris becomes ipparis. Next, we have the T infix, or the GT preterite stem, which indicates a reflexive or reciprocal meaning, like iptaras. He cut, he himself cut. So it's like a reflexive meaning. And then we have the tan infix, iptanaras, which indicates an iterative meaning. He cut repeatedly would be a way of understanding that. Then the two tenses, and there are two tenses in really Akkadian, the preterite or past, as in ipprus, and the present or future, as in ipparas, where we double the middle radical or the middle consonant. So the verb parasu is the infinitive meaning to cut, and this would be he will cut if we put it into the present, or he is cutting, or the future in ipparas. So notice here, parasu, the verb to cut, is a modal verb used to indicate the Akkadian conjugation, much like, and these are all looking at preterite usages, much like in Hebrew, where we have the cow, the nifal, the pl, hitpayel, and so forth. So in summary, ipprus is the G preterite, he cut. And if we put it into the future, this is a summary, it will be ipparas, he will cut. And notice we have an AA vowel pattern in the present or future. And we have the U vowel pattern in the preterite, ipprus. In the D, uparis, by way of review, notice the D preterite, he cut repeatedly, has an AI vowel pattern. And uparis, he will cut repeatedly, is the D present or future. Note the doubling of the middle consonant, as in the PL, diber, where you have a doubling of the bait. So there is an A vowel pattern in the present and future, which we find in uparas. Then the sheen stem is similar to the hifil, or in Hebrew, or the shafel in Aramaic. Ushapris. Notice you have your U vowel as your prefix, followed by the sha infix, and then the stem pris, ushapris. And that's showing a causative or causation. He caused to cut. Notice we have an AI vowel pattern in that stem, that sheen stem. And then ushapras is the sheen present or future, rendered he will cause to cut. Notice we have the AA vowel pattern, but the sha infix, indicating a causative idea. Here with the future, we have an AA vowel pattern, usha pris, and then usha paras would be the future or the present. Then we have what is called the N stem, and in Akkadian, this is similar to the nifal in Hebrew. In Paris would have been historically what we would have had, where the N of the stem is, can I say, by progressive assimilation, causing a repetition of the first consonant. So in pares becomes ippares in the in preterite, and it's passive, just like in the nifal. He or it was cut. Notice the AI vowel patterns, thematic vowel pattern, with the doubling of the first consonant, the P here, because the N has caused that to happen by progressive assimilation. And notice ipparas is the AA vowel pattern. He or it will be cut. Note the original again, in pares becomes ippares with the assimilation, progressive assimilation of NP becoming a doubling of the P. So I'm going to stop there. I want to make one other quick statement. Note the I prefix in the third masculine used in the G and N stems, and the U prefix in the third masculine of the D and sheen stems in the preterite as well as the future tenses. The N stem is like the nifal yishaber from yinshaber, he will or it will be broken, or he will be shattered or broken. So this is very interesting that yin shaber becomes yish shaber with the doubling of the sheen because of the noon assimilating, and it's very similar to what happens in the nifal yin shaber, where ipparis is the same kind of a grammatical idea, in paris becoming ipparis. So I'm going to stop there. If anyone's interested in following my discussion, you can find my grammar, a short inductive Akkadian grammar, based on the Epilogue of Hammurabi's Code on Google Books, along with biblical parallels to the Hebrew Scriptures and with New Testament application to Christ. We're working, showing columns 47 and 48 in using the transliteration of Borger. So if anyone is following along, I would refer you to A Short Inductive Akkadian Grammar. As I'm talking through it and then shortening it or adding information in this, can I say, second edition of what I've done in the past. So I hope this helps anyone that might be interested in looking at Akkadian grammar.